My name is Sierra Donovan and I am 17 years old. I live in Brighton Falls, a small town surrounded by endless forests. It is a place where everyone knows each other and secrets are hard to keep. I have always been seen as the quiet girl, the one who loves to read instead of going to parties. My friends tell me I have this unique way of seeing the world, always diving deep into my thoughts, which makes me a great listener. But here in Brighton Falls, being the observer also means you see things that others do not. My life turned upside down one rainy afternoon when my world collided with that of Melissa Trimble, the queen bee of our high school. She's stunningly beautiful with a smile that could charm anyone, and she uses it like a weapon. For years, I kept my distance from her crowd, avoiding the gossip and drama. I was content with my small circle of friends, but Melissa had always been a looming figure in the background. What happened that day was so unexpected that it felt like a punch to the gut. I was in the library trying to catch up on my favorite fantasy series when I overheard Melissa and her friends laughing. They were mocking me, making fun of my clothes, my shy demeanor, and even my love for reading. My heart sank. I had never thought that someone would target me so directly, but with every snicker it carved an image of humiliation deep into my mind. The outrage surged within me, followed by a sense of helplessness. Suddenly I realized that I had been living in fear of being bullied and excluded without having done anything to deserve it. Determined to come out from the shadows of my anxiety, I decided to confront the situation head-on. I thought that if I gathered enough courage, I could stand up to her. I found myself writing an anonymous note expressing my thoughts and feelings about bullying. I slipped it into Melissa's locker, hoping it would spark some kind of introspection within her, but instead of changing her heart, she gathered her whole squad, claiming I was trying to start drama. My note ended up as fodder for a laugh, and instead of making me feel empowered, I felt completely shattered. Each day at school became a struggle. The more I tried to fight back, the worse it got. Friends began to distance themselves, fearing they would end up in Melissa's crosshairs, and each day it felt as if I was spiraling deeper into loneliness. I remember sitting alone in the cafeteria, my heart heavy with despair, wondering if there was any way to turn my anger into something more productive. One day, as I faced another round of accusations from Melissa, I decided that keeping the battle within was pointless. I began to formulate a plan of my own. My school was hosting a talent show in a few weeks, and I figured that if I could stand on that stage, I could take control of the narrative. I signed up to perform a spoken word piece that would be raw and powerful, reflecting my journey and the pain I had experienced. I breathed in and began to write, pouring out my emotions, every tear I had shed into words that flowed onto the page. As the day of the talent show drew nearer, I practiced relentlessly, pouring my heart into every line. But just when I thought I could find my voice, Melissa turned up the heat. She spread rumors that I was going to use the stage as a platform to attack her in front of the entire school. I felt the cold grip of fear creeping in again, but instead of backing down, I decided to keep going. I had nothing left to lose. The night of the talent show arrived, and as I stood backstage, my heart raced. The auditorium was packed, and I could hear the low murmur of voices. I could feel the tension radiating among my peers as they wondered what I would do. My moment arrived, and I stepped into the spotlight, the heat of the stage lights engulfing me. As I began my piece, I spoke with passion and emotion, every word cutting through the air like a knife. Instead of targeting Melissa directly, I shared how bullying had affected me, the loneliness, and the scars it left behind. I could see many students' faces change, their eyes widening with understanding. As I finished, the applause erupted, but what surprised me most was that Melissa was sitting in the front row, her smile gone, replaced by a shocked expression. In that moment, I took my power back. Days later, I learned that my performance had sparked a movement in Brighton Falls. Students began to reach out and share their own stories of bullying, and we started an anti-bullying club that brought together different voices from our school to stand against the cruel behaviors that had haunted us all. Melissa, realizing the impact of her actions, even came to one of our meetings, humbly apologizing. Although it took time, she began to change, and trust slowly replaced animosity. Today, my life in Brighton Falls is different. I am no longer the quiet girl hiding in the shadows. I have learned that standing up for myself was the key to unlocking my true self. Forgiveness was not easy, but finding my strength filled me with a new purpose. Our school transformed into a place of empathy and understanding, and Melissa now sits beside me as a friend, reminding us all that change is possible. Life is no longer about revenge, it is about growing together, learning from our mistakes, and using our voices to uplift one another. The unexpected twist: sometimes the person who hurt you the most can become the ally you never knew you needed.